how it plays out on the Rift.
Yeah, we saw some pretty high ranks across the board from Missouri Baptist. I think we saw a couple Grandmasters, a couple people high in Masters as well. So definitely going to be one of the tougher tasks for the Saints. And as you said, they've had some pretty smooth sailing in NACE as far as things go. They've had a couple hiccups and, they lost a couple games maybe they shouldn't have throughout the other week. So hopefully they have some stuff to take on and kind of learn and move forward now.
Yeah, and I think especially with the fact that they've upgraded in the jungle. Missouri Baptist, before it used to just be a top lane, mid lane show. They had Fertilance up on the top side. Was a high school player last year even that was really able to step up for the school and slowly in the mid lane, sort of a brand one trick, does a little bit of streaming on the side as well. Got to shout out to small content creators as well, regardless of where they're from, but they've really made an upgrade into the jungle, now bringing in You Never Loved Me, 800 LP Grandmaster jungler, really looking to set that tempo, and I think that's going to be sort of the game plan for Missouri Baptist here. They want to play around that top side of the map, very much against what the Saints have been doing, where they've been playing more around their bot lane. And I think this is going to be a really interesting way to see the sort of contrast in styles between these two teams.
Yeah, and especially hearing how one of the members likes to play brand the Saints. We know they're not afraid to target ban a couple of the one tricks away, and especially in collegiate, a lot of these players, obviously they're going to have a good champ pool, but you get to where you are for a reason, playing the champs that you're comfortable with, having the experience, being able to limit test the champ for a long period of time. So we'll have to see, who's going to get target banned. Are they going to try to focus on Ricky's bans? Are they going to play more for the bot side? Because as you said, the Saints have been putting a lot more priority in their bot side in recent week, kind of leaving Ricky on that island, and albeit he's done a pretty damn good job being on that island the last couple weeks, so they have good reason to do that. So it's always interesting to see who's going to get their one trick ban, who's going to have to make the adjustment. And the last couple series, we have seen vastly different comps and vastly different games, so it's always exciting.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see if Saints are going to play towards their style. I mean, I was talking to Alonso a little bit before the broadcast, and he says that, there's been a lot of different styles going on. They really just want to try and find their mojo again. After a really early season victory against Fisher, a little bit of a step back with that loss to York last week, of course, in NACC. And these matchups, it's been pretty smooth sailing, but now you're going up against some real resistance. And I think in that situation, you really need to show that you can go back to the basics. You can go back to the fundamentals and pick up some of these more meta comps in a sense, just to make sure that you keep everything simple. Granted, of course, there's always going to be some, spice up the sleeve no matter what. We've seen, Alonso even pull out Ivern before. We've seen the Blitzcrank come through as well, and both of those champions still relatively strong, but really curious to see how it sort of transitions here, especially considering we're getting into playoff season for NACC at the very least. NACE still a couple weeks out, but nonetheless, you really want to try and set yourself up for success, get the highest seed possible, so you have the easiest playoff run as well.
Yeah, it's good to know who you are going into all these big matches, and as things are going to start to scale up and the competition will get better, my biggest thing would be, please don't lose to Zumi. That's the only ask I have from last week. Kind of tore them apart. There's a couple matchups, and I think what you said is a really good point. They kind of play out of themselves some games. Not that they play bad, but they play so differently where it's almost like, am I watching the same team right now? And I think it's a really good idea to get in line, try to figure out exactly what works for you, make other teams try to play into that, and then you make the adjustment on top of that and try to come out on top. And with two teams being at 4-0, I think we're going to get both teams A games today as well.
Yeah, I expect it as well. But of course, it won't be the only action that we've got for this week. Looking ahead at the schedule, tonight we've got ourselves League of Legends action against MBU, but of course tomorrow going to be Purdue University, their NACC action once again. But of course the rest of the week, man, can't believe I get to miss out on Friday Valorant against University of Ottawa. Yes. I missed that one.
I know.
I'll get that matchup eventually, but even then you can see starting to get into some conference championships for NACE StarLeague. They're really showing the Saints have done well for themselves. At the very least, we know that they're going to the conference championship. Who are they going up against? Yet to be determined. TBD is always the fun opponent to deal with. They're pretty good across all sports. TBD,
they make a lot of appearances. Exactly.
Exactly. It's sort of like cash considerations and all those trades. Player to be named later.
Future picks. Yeah, exactly.
All of that sort of stuff. But nonetheless, very exciting action across this week. But I believe we are going to head to a short break here before we get into action for tonight. Of course, stay tuned. You don't want to miss this matchup.
And welcome back from our break, everybody. We have, as we said earlier, NACE Star League matchup, Battle of the Undefeateds. Both teams 4-0, St. Clair versus Missouri Baptist. And as you can see on your screen, the draft is about to get underway.
Yeah, very curious to see what these two teams are going to pull out here. Of course, we talked a little bit about what we expect out of MBU in terms of playing towards that strong side on their top side. You know, top mid jungle really going to be their strong suit, whereas we're expecting to see a little bit more stronger side bot side on the side of St. Clair. So really curious to see how that evolves through the draft here. And of course, up here, very curious to see if we just sort of get meta bans on one side against the side of St. Clair, if Missouri Baptist is going to stick to that, or if it's going to be something a little bit more targeted, because there are some pocket picks that we haven't really seen come out much yet, I want to say, coming through from the side of St. Clair. Tristana is one of those. Rock Boom sort of got their name being a Tristana player, so taking that off the table, really good way to open up your draft.
Yeah, I know a couple of the target bans we mentioned, maybe the brand will come off the board for Missouri Baptist had like a brand one trick. We might see LeBlanc, Bakery Boys LeBlanc has been taking out a lot of games in previous matchups, so curious to see if that's going to get banned away, but we are going to see the Uter being the first one. I believe, what other jungler played? I think like Kha'Zix, Uter, and Hecarim, so not surprising to see at least some combo of the three.
Exactly, and especially considering how weak Kha'Zix is right now in general, how it's sort of narrow it puts your champion pool, you want to take that away. But of course, Ricky's Jack's actually taken off the table as well. Hecarim was that sort of second of the trinity that they had, taking that away. Would be surprised to see if they let Brand through. I don't think that will get through as well. But of course, Ivern on the flip side, they want to take that away from Alonso as well. It's just one of those champions where you either know how to play against it or you don't, and you ban it in that sense.
Yeah, it's a champion you don't really see super often. Yeah, kind of like not a niche kit, but very tricky to deal with. And if you're not ready for it, could definitely be a thorn in your side. And as we see, the brand ban is going to come through in that mid lane. So not too surprising anything so far yet. Where's the first pick? Aatrox, the first pick Sejuani. We're going to see probably a lot of the same stuff, but we'll have to see as it comes up here in just a few moments. But Saint so far, nothing crazy, and shocker, we knew the top laner played a lot of Aatrox. Aatrox is the most meta golem champ right now for top, so
exactly.
Shocker.
The Aatrox has been first pick so many times at Worlds as well. It's either you first pick the Sejuani or you first pick the Aatrox in that regard. This is interesting to see as a response, though. It's mostly only been pulled out by Zeus up on the top side as the answer into the Aatrox. You have a lot of agency there, but Ricky, has played the Yasuo, has played the Yone. They're very comfortable on this champion, so not surprised to see the Yone come through as the answer. And, of course, when you don't get the Aatrox, you pick up the Sejuani as sort of that the A2 pick, I want to say, in a lot of senses. You really just have to pick up that tankier jungle. You get so much agency, especially when you already have a melee solo lane locked in.
Yeah, and we've seen Ricky playing a lot of the Yone recently, especially. We are going to see actually Kane come through from Missouri Baptist, so not something we see super often. We just saw the Worlds matchup where Canyon pulled it out, but not a champion that you see super often. Yet it's a champion, you want to try to get ahead early, get the transformation going, and then try to wreak havoc across the rift.
Yeah, and actually a fun little lore interaction there between Aatrox and Kane. You got your two Darkins healing a whole bunch there, and of course what better way to round out that trifecta than the Yuumi, who also provides a lot of healing there. Yumi's risen a lot in terms of presence coming through at Worlds as well. And I mean, she hasn't been changed in the last two patches. A lot of what has happened in the last couple of patches hasn't affected what we've been seeing on our streams versus what we see here. So not too surprised to see that come through. But the Thresh coming through from Rafa makes a lot of sense. They're very confident on this champion. And, it's interesting to see that as the pickup here. Blitzcrank is quite strong as well, but the Thresh gives you a little bit more get out of jail free cards as well.
And we've seen Rafa do such a good job on the Thresh. He's been absolutely killing it. I think it's definitely probably his best support. He loves to play those engages, like you said, the Blitz. What about a possibility? And we're going to see the Twitch ban for St. Clair and the MF ban for Missouri Baptist. So they do not want to deal with Twitch Yuumi, and Missouri Baptist answering, we do not want to deal with Thresh MF.
Yeah, and the Ezreal ban as well, interesting to see. It hasn't really been a popular champion, but of course we saw, once again, we look at Worlds, we see a little bit of Ezreal play come through, and you see that they're like, we want to take that away. Ezreal Yuumi is such a safe lane, especially when you're able to just hand off the Yuumi after 10 minutes and say, okay, go play with the Dark and you figure it out. It gets a little bit more difficult to deal with. The Silas actually going to be taken away. So champion the Bakery Boys pulled out a couple of times, and especially with that prominence of it being such a strong champion with, Grievous Wounds not being that strong, you want to try and take that off the table. But Draven comes through here. It's something that Rockboom's picked up a couple of times, and especially here it says we want to play for that early game. Draven plus the Thresh so strong at sort of snowballing a lane and just becoming out of control.
Yeah, and we've seen when the Saints get that bot lane snowball early, they do a very, very good job of holding the lead, trying to maintain it, and go throughout the rest of the game. And we're going to see Syndra and Varus getting picked up from Missouri Baptist. So two very strong champs right now, but not Syndra especially. I don't think we've seen too much of it in Collegiate, at least last couple matches I've seen, but always nice to see a couple fresh faces pull up.
And especially since this is the rework to Syndra, I'm very interested to see how it plays out. Of course, the laning phase going to be a little bit more difficult, but of course, Syndra LeBlanc as a lane that, it's a classic mid lane matchup in a lot of ways, and LeBlanc used to have a little bit of a tough time with that, especially in laning phase. Now, though, Syndra scales a lot better into the later stages of the game. Of course, course, we'll have to keep an eye on those stacks there. That'll always
Yeah.
be something that's fun for Observer to keep up with, just being like, hey, how many stacks are on did you have stacks now? What's going on? You know, all that sort of stuff. But, you know, we'll get it in time, of course. What it means is you get 2 charges on your Q once you get to 40 stacks. Your W does more damage at 60 stacks. 80 stacks means your cone is huge and wide and everything. 100 stacks, you get an execute on your ultimate, and then 120 stacks, of course, you're getting the bonus AP coming through, sort of like a mini Rabadon's passive at that. But, you know, Bakery Boy has had a lot of success on this LeBlanc thus far this season. I think probably their best champion.
His best. I was going to say, I think this is Bakery Boy's pocket pick, and we've seen a lot of times that LeBlanc has been getting banned in a lot of matchups because he has shown he's very, very proficient with the champ. He knows exactly how the champion works. He does such a good job in mid lane and then causing havoc elsewhere in the lanes. So we usually see it get banned away, but that's the beautiful thing about every member having a deep champion pool. As the meta maybe kind of adjusts and stuff, you might have the option to get those champs come through. But I think we are going to throw it to a very, very quick break in between, just get the lobby fixed up and everything. But that's the draft, and we'll catch you guys game 1 just after the break. And we are back from the very short break. Gonna go through the old Riot pause bug. The game, just pause beforehand. We'll be good in about 5-10 seconds here, but we are finally on to the Rift. 2 4-0 teams battling to keep that undefeated spot in NACE StarLeague. And say, as we get a quick out of this thing, one more pump fake for you guys. We're going to have to wait just a little bit longer to get into game here, see how these matchups are going to play out. And I know we have a preference. We know who we want to win. Let's get some predictions going. I'm going to say Saints going to take this one 2-1. What are your thoughts here?
I think it's going to be a 2-1 as well, honestly, of course. I think the Saints are going to come out ahead in this one, especially considering the draft that they have. They've got a lot of aggression through that bot lane. They want to play through their strong parts of the map, so I'm very curious to see how that sort of pans out overall. Already you can see looking for stacks on young Hook Dog there, the Yuumi just trying to find anything that they can, but very aggressive play coming through from MBU at this level 1, just trying to look for anything that they can, get some vision down and sort of get a pulse on where Alonso is going to start. One thing about the Kayn versus the Sejuani matchup that we saw when Canyon was pulling it out is just how aggressively this Kayn can play, and you really want to play towards that red form as quickly as possible. It's facilitated by the fact that it is very, very difficult for the likes of the Sejuani to survive, but Rafa already in trouble.
Yeah, Rafa not looking too good here. Might be able to get away. Actually, he's going to get knocked up and the Ignite, so could be first blood over to Missouri Baptist, and that is a very quick way to get a little slight gold lead there.
Yeah, Fertiland's going to be the benefactor of that one, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult for the likes of Ricky to be able to sort of survive this lane now. Longsword, an extra potion there in the inventory. Very curious to see how that ends up paying out because, of course, it's not going to be too detrimental for the likes of Rafa to deal with, just because they're able to get back to lane in time. But, it's really unfortunate when the support sort of just gifts first blood over to the enemy side. But you can see both junglers actually... Interesting play coming through where it's actually going to be an invade coming through from Alonso onto that blue buff, and not actually going to be read out here by the side of You Never Loved Me, so maybe a little bit of an advantage here if Alonso can take that blue buff, take their own red buff, and go to their bottom side jungle there. It's going to give them a little bit more agency around the map.
Yeah, and I think that comes, part of that was You Never Loved Me. They go 5-man to the bot lane, didn't put any wards up top side, so knowing that he probably has some time, know that Kayn is probably he wants to start on that red, he want to get going early on, so thinking they had a little bit of time there to take that top side and going to just go back to their own side and farm, and then The bot lane going to be a little bit behind your support, having the one death there, but nothing too crazy, and we'll have to see a little bit of farm back and forth and see. I want to see that top lane matchup, especially considering Aatrox got that first blood and how Ricky's going to respond.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, it is a matchup that does favor Ricky, and of course, even in the early stages, Yone's just able to go for these aggressive trades and then just pop back. That's the safety of the Yone in that regard, of course. You Never Loved Me here, actually going for an interesting play. They're going to execute, and I don't mind this overall because, they took away that blue buff. They know that they might die in that sense, and it was a good read from Alonso to be able to do that. It picks up the tempo for the side of Alonso here, but You Never Loved Me not giving over any gold. So they're going to keep that blue buff even. That's what happens when you execute, but they're just going to be able to go back to clearing as normal. So interesting play overall.
Yeah, Rafa going to be playing up a little bit aggressive here, trying to put some pressure on this bot lane, and obviously Thresh Draven, we expected that the early game. They want to try it and get those Draven stacks going, get as much damage as they can, keep that CS lead as high as humanly possible, and try to bully this bot lane out of the game, because as we said, Ricky is a pretty favorable matchup. We've seen him wield the Yone with extreme proficiency, the bot lane. If they're able to get that bot lane ahead nice and early, I think it could be very, very nice win condition for the Saints going forward.
Yeah, and of course, it's going to be a situation where in the mid lane here, it's going to be slowly struggling for the first little bit against the likes of Bakery Boy in that sense. But of course, over time, Stoli's going to be able to scale up. And, with that first strike especially, you get a little bit more agency in that regard as well. But overall, you can see the gank to that mid lane, You Never Loved Me, showing up, interestingly enough, has been collecting a lot of blue orbs thus far, which isn't necessarily what you want on this Kayn at the current point in time. You want to really play towards red farm as much as possible, which is going to be a little bit difficult considering there are two melee champions and they're all on this top side of the map, and there's really no agency to be able to pick that up over time.
Yeah, going to be a little bit tricky here. We are going to see the bot lane, as we said, still trying to put that pressure on, keep the wave shoved under tower there. Got to take a quick recall, get an item or two here, maybe get a potion, and get back to that bot lane. Good to see Alonso is going to show mid lane here, but just going to help clean up the farm, crash that wave in a little bit. Bakery Boy holding his own in that mid lane. Has a slight CS lead, the Saints doing a slightly better job of CSing so far, besides, Sejuani being a little bit behind there, but pretty even back and forth, all things considered. Especially having that first blood come up as fast as it did.
And I mean, the main thing to keep in mind is just that this Kayn has been able to live rent-free in the enemy jungle for most of this game. They've been able to just take away camps from Alonso, and it's sort of what you have to give up when you're playing this Sejuani versus Kayn matchup. Kayn will win the 1v1 every single time. Even if they die, they're going to be getting a whole bunch of orbs, which plays to their win condition, which is getting that red form as fast as possible. Topside though, Ricky, oh my.
Yeah, Ricky in a little bit of trouble here. Going to get a lot of tags back there on, what's it, Fertilance? Yeah, but Fertilance is going to be on the winning side of that trade. Going to get this wave shoved under tower, and Ricky, as we said, got a couple ticks there, but is going to be tagged down to about half HP here. Ooh, a little bit of aggressive play in the top side, so trying to leverage that first blood he got and try to find that early kill, but ultimately not going to risk dying over it.
Yeah, and overall, I'm always been a fan of how Fertilance plays this game. Very aggressive on this top side of the map. Had the opportunity to actually see them live when they were at Gateway Legends, and consistently just finding any advantages that they can. They're a strong laner at that. It's usually into the later stages, but now Tiny Dolphin in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, Rafa going to get the setup in Tribush. Alonso going to be there as well. Third man going to jump in. Rock Boom. Rafa's going to end up finding the kill, so going to get the kill onto Dolphin, and now just a Yuumi without her taxi. Rock Boom going to find the kill onto Young Hook Dog, and the Saints going to go 2 for 0 in that bot lane. Beautifully executed setup.
Yeah, 275 bonus gold picked up by Rock Boom there. That's a really big advantage, and we talked from the get-go about how important this bot lane is going to be for St. Clair, and already you can see picking up an 1,000 gold advantage. That's exactly what Draven wants to do. You want to push your advantage as much as possible, and it's going to facilitate a lot more action around this bottom side. I want to see Alonso continue to re-gank this lane, because Tiny Dolphin doesn't have that flash, burned it earlier on into this lane. You got to keep punishing this as much as possible and try and get this Draven as fed as possible, because you look at the opposite side, despite Ricky having an okay chance in the CS department, at least for now, they're still behind in gold there. The Sejuani behind in gold because of how well this Kayn has been playing this.
Yeah, and the good thing about the bot lane too is Rafa. He is not scared to start those engagements. That's why you see him, even though Alonso wasn't quite attached in that Tribush, Rafa was willing to sit there, take a couple hits, get that knock up, try to land the hook there, and try to make those plays. Knowing Bakery Boy is going to flash and try to find the kill. Rafa's going to show as well, but no help needed. Bakery Boy going to get the solo kill onto Stoli in the mid lane, so beautiful start in the mid lane as well. Now Ricky and Fertilance going to go back and forth. Ricky getting tagged down. Aatrox going to pop the R there. Ricky going to go for the knock-up, not going to find it. Is going to have to dash away and have to maybe escape with his life here. He just will. Fertilance taking that tower shot, but a lot of action in all 3 lanes so far.
Yeah, and Fer.Lance comes out of that a little bit worse for wear just because they had to burn that flash. Of course, gonna have that wave pushing into Ricky, so gonna be a little bit more CS going the way of that Aatrox. But as you can see, just so well played. Tiny Dolphin's in so much trouble, though.
Yeah, Bakery Boy getting mobile on that LeBlanc, just as we said. He loves to get that solo kill in the mid lane and go cause havoc in all the other lanes. And when Rockboom and Rafa have the lane shoved in this far, and Alonso doing such a good job helping facilitate that early on, the Saints are feeling very, very good. And as you said, just funnel that gold into Draven. Look at that CS difference already.
Yeah, you can just see it with where they're farming. They're farming in front of the tier 1 tower.
They're proxying.
You know, it's effectively proxying here. It's level 6 to level 4. Ricky, though, going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Double dark in action on this top side. Oh, my.
Yeah, Ricky might be able to get out of this one possibly. He's going to flash away. He's going to find the kill. Going to go for the second one. Oh, going to get tagged down very close back and forth. Ricky going to escape back to that tower, pick up the rest of that farm, but a beautiful outplay in the 2v1, somehow going 1 for 0 there. And Rafa, oh, recall just on the other side of the Krugs. Rafa not quite aware of it, and the Saints are going to pick up that first Hex Dragon as well. So beautiful first 7.5 minutes if you're St. Clair.
Yeah, honestly, you never loved me. They're getting a little bit too aggressive under that tower. Didn't really have faith in their damage, I feel like. You know, didn't have the Umbral Trespass either to drop that turret aggro, and of course with no ultimates on the board at all up top side, you're gonna need to take any advantage that you can, and that's just Ricky's flash. That was available still, able to pick one up in return. Bakery Boy, though, linking up with Rafa mid lane.
Yeah, Rafa, Bakery Boy, once again, Bakery Boy gonna try to find the kill. Hook is gonna miss. Stoli is gonna escape with his life, but once again, showing that mid lane presence. Now Alonso, having to try to fight off this bot lane in the bot side jungle here, is going to get away for the timing. Fer.Lance, though, gonna dive Ricky. Ricky is gonna tether back to safety, gonna take a lot of damage, but nonetheless, is going to escape with his life, not give any gold over there in the Saints. Playing very, very aggressive, but also, you know, realizing we don't want to give away any kills and, like, let Missouri Baptist back in the game so soon.
Yeah, and the main thing about Ricky there was just they knew that they had the opportunity to pick up a plate, so they go as far back, place the tether down, and get that plate for themselves. At the very least, it's giving them a lot of agency to get as much attack speed as possible. Interesting strategy coming through, though. You know, no Executioner's Calling picked up, no Lifesteal picked up for Ricky here. Really just looking for the pure 1v1 auto attack him down potential here. A little bit difficult, though, considering Fer.Lance with this Aatrox that did technically get nerfed, you know. Yeah, it's still a menace to deal with, and especially still with this Eclipse build. The nerfs in the later stage is going to be really difficult to hold on to for now, but look at this engage on the top side. Rockman's in trouble. Yeah,
huge fight. The side of Missouri Baptist trying to set up a top side gank, but the Saints were aware of it. Going to send a bunch of members to the top lane, find 2 kills as well. Now Ricky in the bot lane trading out. He's going to get a lot of damage. He's going to force the flash away. He's going to have to back up, though. Going to get the Ignite, going to get tagged down, and Ricky is going to fall. But the Saints, reading that top side gank, knowing that You Never Loved Me had taken the buff, was still sitting in that top side. They end up finding good value on that top side. Ricky unfortunately falls on the bot side there.
Yeah, and Stoli now in a little bit of trouble. You know, every single time we see this interaction, it's just the LeBlanc able to dodge away from what Stoli's trying to put through. And it's good to see where the distortions are going. They're not going directly at the Syndra. They're going around the Syndra to try and find an angle with the chains, really relying on that as an option to sort of push their advantages forward there. And at the stacks right now, still waiting on that first upgrade coming through from Stoli thus far. It's been a little bit of a rough go of things for this mid lane Syndra thus far, but you know, Bakery Boy playing to their utmost potential in a lot of ways. You know, this is exactly what we expect out of a player of this caliber at this point, especially when they're on a comfort pick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Bakery Boy, every time we've seen him on the LeBlanc, he has had an incredible game. Gonna get the root there. Rafa, once again, Rafa lurking in this mid lane, trying to pick off Stoli and set something up with Bakery Boy, but nothing gonna be there for the time being. Bakery Boy is going to show down to the bot side near the pit there. Going to see Kane, you know, flashing around in the wall there. Bot side going to recall here. So both teams, a little bit of back and forth, but they're going to settle down here for just a little bit. Maybe grab an item or 2 and then reset for some fight. Oh, Bakery Boy, though. Bakery Boy never stops pushing, though. That's the thing. There's never a lull in the action mid lane. Top side, though, once again, Rafa going to land the hook. Alonso is close by. Going to use the blast cone to send him to Alonso. Fantastic job. They're going to get the stun. A lot of damage going to go through. They should be able to find this kill in a Fer.Lance. Just momentarily, Rafa taking a lot of damage. Should be able to find the stun. Fer.Lance still kicking. Is going to fall, though. Bakery Boy going to be the recipient of that kill, and the Saints going to get a 1 for 0 on that top side.
And really just comes down to the fact that they knew Fer.Lance's ult cooldown there, didn't have that Aatrox available, Aatrox ult available. They're not able to end any worlds in that sense. And of course, Rafa playing with fire at that, but look at all this gold that's going into Rockboom right now. They're up already 2,000 gold. You know, I was looking at the items for a little bit there, and it was like a Vamp Scepter on this, the Varus versus you know, all of these items coming through for Rockboom on the flip side. Now it's a little bit more even, but I think we're going to be seeing a second item come through from Rockboom before we even see the Mythic come through from Tiny Dolphin, and this is a huge advantage for this Draven. We talked about how they need to play around this bot side as much as possible. They've played that to a T thus far, and realistically, yes, this Yone isn't really getting that many resources. Yes, they're still behind the Aatrox in a lot of ways, but they bought the call for themselves. You know, Ricky's basically saying, I'm fine sacking my game if it means that the rest of my team can thrive. Alonso, very much the same, you know, down 40 CS, but they've gotten these advantages for Rockboom thus far, and now that's Eclipse plus Essence Reaver. There's so much damage to come through from this Draven. It's really going to be difficult to resist against that, especially considering there is exactly 0 armor components built up. There's no defensive capabilities on the side of MBU right now.
Yeah, the Saints do such a good job mobilizing and attacking. They're going to try to do that. Fertilize is going to burn Flash. Going to try to land a couple Qs there. Going to get melted down. Rafa going to find the kill there. Saw the Draven R come through as well there. But the Saints, once again, it's like there's 6 of them playing on the map right now. They do such a good job rotating. Oh, you love me, or you never love me. Going to get ticked down. Ignite is going to find the kill, so Bakery Boy, basically 100-0 the juggler there. And the Saints now with a pretty massive advantage, just looking to try to snowball this one now.
You may have loved me, but unfortunately Bakery Boy is saying no love's lost with that combination there. Stoli trying to get a read there. It was a good attempt, but Bakery Boy just has this mid laner on download here, and thus far, you know, really showing why the Saints are 4-0 in this division. Even still going up against another undefeated team, they are showing no fear at this point. Bakery Boy just too big for Alonso.
Yeah, and the Saints, they do not care. That is an ego play if I've ever seen it. In a tower dive with no wave. Ricky, though, going to get a lot of damage from this top side. Couple more hits there. Tiny Dolphin trying to escape with his life. Ricky gonna flash onto him, gonna get the knock up. Lots of ticks coming through, and Ricky will find the finish. Tiny Dolphin gonna drown out there on that top side, and the Saints still safe, just increasing their lead step by step here. Look at the bounty starting to litter up across the side of the Saints, just playing a beautiful game so far.
Yeah, when the cat's away, the mice will play. Exactly what happens when the Yuumi leaves in that situation, of course. Able to get Ricky a little bit more, but of course, this might be difficult here. You never loved me with the help of that Yuumi.
Ricky has got a chance here. He's going to dash away. Kane set up inside of Ricky there. Going to try to find some damage. Ricky going to dash away. Isn't going to have to tether back, though. He will fall momentarily. Ricky will finally fall there. You Never Loved Me is going to finally pick up a kill there. Get on the board. Try to get some gold in his pocket, but Missouri Baptist is going to need a whole lot more where that came from.
And look at the portrait. It's Blue Cane. They opted for Blue Cane here in this matchup, of course, considering the fact that there's a lot of squishies on the enemy side. Not the worst case scenario, but you went Blue Cane when you have Conqueror and a Gordrinky. You really would have preferred to have a little bit more of a beef tank on that front line. You want to have this Aatrox and this Cane sort of being your dark and healing tanks in that front line, and you don't really have that agency now that you've gone Blue Cane. So I'm very curious to see how that sort of plays out over time here, because Alonso is going to be such a menace to deal with now. You know, you can't really 1v1 Alonso as easily now. Granted, they're not really going for that. They're just going for a heavy counter jungle style to try and get as much farm as possible, and Alonso is suffering in the experience department, in the gold department because of it. But this Kane is going to need to carry that load. They need to carry that gold lead that they have and make something happen with it. And thus far, you know, the fact that Rockboom hasn't died is sort of attesting to that, because this is a Draven against a Blue Cane. You would expect the Blue Cane to have so much more agency in that regard. There's been so many times where you play against Blue Cane and you're like, wow, I got to play the game there. I got one shot and couldn't do anything about it. Toss on top of that the fact that there's a Yuumi to supplement that. You need to try and start to find some kills if you're the side of MBU here, because You Never Loved Me, Young Host Dog, they're going to have a big role in this one.
Tiny Dolphin going to get rooted, going to try to escape there. Bakery Boy going to give up on the chase. Don't want to walk in, say Yuumi Kane waiting in the tri-bush there. So good job to back off.
Death.
Recall is going to go. Rafa lurking in that top side river. Bakery Boy maybe going to shove back in one more time and try it, but no. Is going to get cold feet and back off. Ricky, though, once again, trying to be active in the spot side. Is going to get the knock up. Couple autos into Fertilance there. Going to tag him up pretty good. Might be able to find the kill, actually. Knock up is going to come through. Lots of damage. Ricky is going to find the solo kill bot lane. Fertilance will fall, and then Rockboom yet again going to find another kill. And man, that is a fed Draven.
Yep, 400 bonus gold once again. So much going in favor of the side of St. Clair. Look at that. Double the gold of their opponents right now, or round about that right now. Rockboom has really put the boom down on this matchup, and they're feeling really, really good about themselves. We talked about how you need to play around your strong side bot if you're the side of St. Clair. You know, ripping open the void there. You can see Rune Draven just hopping into the Millennium Puzzle of his own there, able to find himself even more gold. And now, you know, it's going to be so difficult to deal with this as the game progresses if you're the side of MBU, because you've got nothing going for you right now. Your bot lane is losing, your top side, your lead is gone, and your Kane not going the right form, but Bakery Boy in trouble.
They're investing a lot to try to get Bakery Boy. The Yumi are not going to land. Bakery Boy might be able to actually escape with his life here. Is going to get slowed, though. Have to try to fake out one more time.
Ooh.
Flash is going to come through. Oh! And Bakery Boy is going to live for the time being. Now You Never Love Me is in deep, deep trouble. The Saints are collapsing in the mid lane. Alonso are going to land. Go for the knockup as well. Ricky's here to collapse as well. All the Saints are showing up in this mid lane. Bakery Boy, it goes from what looked like he was guaranteed to die there. The Saints turned the fight on its head in that mid lane. Rafa going to land the hook as well. Rafa still trying to 1v1 Dolphin. His teammates are in the wing zone. Rockboom walks up. Trade is going to go through there, but Rockboom once again going to get that next kill in the Saints. Going to end up taking the positive out of that one. And once again, now Missouri Baptist, that's the thing. They have to try to be proactive and make these plays, but they're just so far behind it can be tricky. And Ricky absolutely shredding. Oh my God, Stoli, poor man, stood no chance to Ricky Jone, and he will fall before that.
I'll give him a shout out to his Twitter handle, Rip Stoli, in that situation because he died without a chance in the world there. No, Bakery Boy, Ricky, just everyone is firing on all cylinders here. Fertilance, no chance here.
Poor guy. That was an Aatrox that got melted like that too. That's how you know the Saints are ahead.
Yeah, you can really tell at this point after that first blood for Missouri Baptist and a couple of picks here and there. It's been a rough uphill battle here, and I think the main issue is just the fact that you don't have any front line. You've got no sort of tank to deal with any of this. You've got the Eclipse on the Aatrox as opposed to something like the Gore Drinker, which would give you a little bit more beef. You've got Blue Cane instead of Red Cane, which would give you a little bit more beef. You've got the Yumi as well going for this poke style instead of the heavier healing style, which may be a little bit of a detriment here, but even more fighting. Ricky gonna get the red buff, but they might have to get out. This will be a tough situation, though.
Yumi is going to go through. Actually, he's going to get Ricky on the backside of the wall there, but he'll be able to safely walk away. Rafa is going to be able to flash out of there. Now, You Never Love Me is going to give chase, though. 4 Saints are waiting in the wings, so they should be able to find this kill. He is going to find the kill on Rafa. Going to get a lot of damage, tick down Rockboom. Once again, going to find the kill. Finally, Fertilance is going to get the kill into Ricky as well, so Missouri Baptist making something out of this fight, but once again, Rockboom just getting absolutely fed. Kill after kill. Bakery Boy finding the kill onto the Yumi, the Saints. Even if they're going to get picked by 1, they're going to get it back threefold, and look how fed the side of the Saints are. Look at Bakery Boy and Rockboom especially.
I mean, Draven's looking like Gates at this point with how much money they've got in hand. 3 completed items. They just picked up another couple of kills. The Collector going to give him bonus gold. Triumph going to give him bonus gold. They have Treasure Hunter as well. The Draven pass is going to give them bonus gold every single time they're getting a kill. Doesn't matter if the champion's worth 300 or 100 gold or 1,000 gold, whatever. Look at that. There's so much gold in the inventory of this Draven. Might be telling Rockboom to start investing at this point because they're really, really, really strong at this point. And it's exactly what we wanted to see out of the side of Saints. You need to play around your strong side bot lane, and done that to a T thus far. Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about the numbers not always telling the whole story. If you looked at Kane and Sejuani CS and tried to figure out who was ahead, you might be very, very wrong based on the number. But Ricky, once again, going to harass in this bot side, is going to get the knockup, going to try to kill You Never Love Me, but is not going to quite find the kill. Actually, will find the kill after the fact, but Stoli is going to find the kill on Ricky, so going to be a 1-for-1, and the Saints should be able to take their 3rd dragon out of this as well. So they have controlled the objective game the entire time. We've only been covering the team fights. That's what they've been non-stop the entire game, but the Saints quietly putting themselves on soul point. Now Alonso going to get the stun. Fertilance in a very, very bad way. Rockboom going godlike, finding yet another one. Young Hook Dog going to fall a double. Going to be a triple for Rockboom. Make it for a quadra kill. And Missouri Baptist left in shambles in front of the pit, and the Saints are going to recall. And man, the game feels like it's going to end sooner than later at this rate. Okay, he's just going to back and buy a full Infinity Edge right here. Just going to say, hey, I've got money. Kaboom, there it is. Just picking that one up because, might as well. You've got so much gold in your inventory. You look across the side. It's 4 items completed, plus boots on the Draven. Before 20 minutes. Before 20 minutes. That's, there's not even a second item completed on the opposite side there. It's just absolute destruction coming through from Rockboom. Truly bringing the boom here, showing up like a rock star on that one as well. And now 10-0-5, feeling really good about themselves. And, 20 minutes, Baron is on the agenda. What can you expect at this point? Yeah. And really, there's no way for Missouri Baptist to get back into this game because they don't have any angles to do so. You add 2 members of their team together in terms of their gold, you're still not touching Rockboom at that point. That's the thing. Yeah, they have to try to be proactive and try to make plays, but honestly, they're just outstatted and out-itemed right now. There's not really any plays they can make with Ricky. Once again, going to harass Fertilance on that bot side, and on the top side here, Saints are going to get a free Baron right after 20 minutes here. Stun's going to go through. Looks like one of the members might fall. Stoli taken out by Bakery Boy yet again, be it the mid lane or in front of the Baron pit. Just has his number the entire game. Still 0 deaths for Rockboom, Bakery Boy, and Alonso. Just such a clean game from the Saints. Yeah, Missouri Baptist just don't have any sort of angle to go for here. Apparently it's just diving Ricky, but we'll see what they can do here.
Yeah, Ricky gonna have to go back to that tether. Couple tower shots, gonna land the double R. They're gonna get a lot of damage. Is gonna find the kill, gonna flash away from Fertilance. Goes back in on Tiny Dolphin. Lots of damage going through Ricky. Gonna survive for the time being. Gets the double kill. He's gonna look for more. Is gonna find the third. Oh, and a quadra for Ricky when it looked like it was no longer possible. Gonna survive the tower dive and put the Saints in position to crash this base and wreck this Nexus and send Missouri Baptist on a game 2.
They tried to pull Crusade down to that bottom side, but unfortunately, there's no saving anyone. Ricky LaFleur says, I am your god, and shuts them down there. 1v4 situation. Oh my.
Oh, and the ace for the Saints. What other way to end it? Ace, Nexus, and base for the Saints. They're going to wipe Missouri Baptist off of the Rift here in Game 1. A dominant performance from all members. Ricky crushing the top side. Alonzo as active as possible, and obviously a Fed Draven to boot. Just such a good job. And one Nexus tower still to fall, so the game's not quite over just yet, but the Saints, they're going to try to force this fight, I imagine, and try to win this game. Rock Boom, lots of damage are going to go through. Oh, the Saints are going to fight it out. They do not care. Oh, another ace back-to-back. Bakery Boy going to find, I believe, 2 or 3. Stoli going to take the early exit. Missouri Baptist, as we said, on to Game 2. The Saints, an absolute decimation. Almost one more for good measure as well.
Yeah, Mike. By the fact that it is very, very difficult for the legs of this going to survive, but Rafa already trouble.
Yeah, Rafa not looking too good here. Might be able to get away. Actually, he's going to get knocked up and the Ignite, so could be first blood over to Missouri Baptist, and that is a bit of proxying.
You know, it's effectively proxying here. It's level 6 to level 4. Ricky, though, going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Double Dark in action on this top side. Oh, my.
Yeah, Ricky might be able to get out of this one possibly. He's going to flash away. He's going to find the kill. Going to go for the second one. Oh, going to get tagged down very close back and forth. Ricky going to escape back to that tower, pick up the rest of that.
In the later stages, going to be really difficult to hold on to for now, but to disengage on the top side. Rockland's in trouble.
Yeah, huge fight. The side of Missouri Baptist trying to set up a top side gank, but the Saints were aware of it. Going to send a bunch of members to the top lane, find 2 kills as well. Now Ricky in the bot lane trading out. He's going to get a lot of damage. Is going to force the flash away. He's going to have to back up though. Going to get the Ignite, going to get tagged down, and Ricky is going to fall, but the Saints hacking. They're going to try to do that. Fertilize. It's going to burn flash. They're trying to land a couple Qs there. Going to get melted down. Rafa going to find the kill there. Saw the Draven R come through as well there, but the Saints once again, it's like there's 6 of them playing on the map right now. They do such a good job rotating. Oh, you love me, or you never love me. Gonna get ticked down. Ignite is gonna find the kill, so Bakery Boy basically 100-0 the juggler there, and the Saints now with a pretty massive advantage, just looking to try to snowball.
Presses it to the side of MBU because you've got nothing going for you right now. Your bot lane is losing, your top side, your lead is gone, and your Pain not going the right form, but Bakery Boy in trouble.
They're investing a lot to try to get Bakery Boy. The Yumi are not going to land. Bakery Boy might be able to actually escape with his life. Is going to get slowed though. Have to try to fake out one more time. Ooh. Flash is going to come through. Oh! And Bakery Boy is going to live for the time being. Now You Never Love Me is in deep, deep trouble. The Saints are collapsing in the mid lane. Alonzo are going to land. Go for the knockup as well. Ricky's here to collapse as well. All the Saints are showing up in this mid lane. Bakery Boy, it goes from what looked Saints turned the fight on its head in that mid lane. Rafa going to land the hook as well. Rafa's still trying to 1v1 Dolphin. His teammates are in the wing zone. Rockboom walks up, Trade is going to go through, but Rock Boom once again going to get that next kill in the Saints. Going to end up taking the positive out of that one. And once again, now Missouri Baptist, that's the thing. They have to try to be proactive and make these plays, but they're just so far behind it can be tricky. And Ricky absolutely shredding. Oh my God, Stoli, poor man. He'll be able to safely walk away. Rafa is going to be able to flash out of there. Now, you never love me. Is going to give chase, though. 4 Saints are waiting in the wings, though. They should be able to find this kill. He is going to find the kill on Rafa. Going to get a lot of damage, take down Rock Boom. Once again, going to find the kill. Finally, Ferdinand is going to get the kill into Ricky as well. So Missouri Baptist making something out of this fight, but once again, Rock Boom the entire time. We've only been covering the team fight. That's what they've been non-stop the entire game, but the Saints quietly putting themselves on soul point. Now Alonso going to get the stun. Oh, Ferdinand's in a very, very bad way. Rock Boom going godlike, finding yet another one. Young Hook Dog going to follow double. Going to be a triple for Rock Boom. Make it for a quadra kill. And Missouri Baptist.
Angle to go for here. Apparently it's just diving Ricky, but we'll see what they can do here.
Yeah, Ricky gonna have to go back to that tether. Couple tower shots, gonna land the double R. They're gonna get a lot of damage. Is gonna find the kill, gonna flash away from Ferdinand. Goes back in on Tiny Dolphin. Lots of damage going through Ricky. Gonna survive for the time being. Gets the double kill. He's gonna look for more. Is gonna find the and a quadra for Ricky when it looked like it was no longer possible. Gonna survive.
It's facilitated by the fact that it is very, very difficult for the likes of this to join to survive, but Rafa already in trouble.
Yeah, Rafa not looking too good here. Might be able to get away. Actually, he's going to get knocked up and the Ignite, so could be first blood over to Missouri Baptist, and that is the proxying.
No, it's effectively proxying here. It's level 6 to level 4. Ricky, though, going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Double Dark in action on this top side. Oh my.
Yeah, Ricky might be able to get out of this one possibly. He's going to flash away. He's going to find the kill. Going to go for the second one. Oh, going to get tagged down very close back and forth. Ricky going to escape back to that tower, pick up the rest of that.
In the later stages, going to be really difficult to hold on to for now, but with the disengage on the top side, Rock's in trouble.
Yeah, huge fight. The side of Missouri Baptist trying to set up a top side gank, but the Saints were aware of it. Going to send a bunch of members to the top lane, find 2 kills as well. Now Ricky in the bot lane trading out. He's going to get a lot of damage. Is going to force the flash away. He's going to have to back up. They're going to get the Ignite, going to get tagged down, and Ricky is going to fall. But the Saint hacking, they're going to try to do that. Ferdinand is going to burn flash. They're trying to land a couple Qs there. Going to get melted down. Rafa going to find the kill there. Saw the Draven R come through as well there. But the Saints, once again, it's like there's 6 of them playing on the map right now. They do such a good job rotating. Oh, you love me, or you never love me. Gonna get ticked down. Ignite is gonna find the kill, so Bakery Boy basically 100-0 the juggler there, and the Saints now with a pretty massive advantage, just looking to try to snowball.
Presses it to the side of MBU because you've got nothing going for you right now. Your bot lane is losing, your top side, your lead is gone, and your Kane not going the right form, but Bakery Boy in trouble.
They're investing a lot to try to get Bakery Boy. The Yumi are not going to land. Bakery Boy might be able to actually escape with his life here. Is going to get slowed though. Have to try to fake out one more time. Flash is going to come through. And Bakery Boy is going to live for the time being. Now You Never Love Me is in deep, deep trouble. The Saints are collapsing in the mid lane. Alonso are going to land. Go for the knockup as well. Ricky's here to collapse as well. All the Saints are showing up in this mid lane. Bakery Boy, it goes from what looked Saints turned the fight on its head in that mid lane. Rafa gonna land back as well. Rafa's still trying to 1v1 Dolphin. His teammates are in the wings, so Rock Boom walks up. Trade is gonna go through them, but Rock Boom once again gonna get that next kill in the Saints. Gonna end up. And welcome back into Game 2, St. Clair versus Missouri Baptist. Battle of the 4-0. St. Clair looked like a little more than a double undefeated team matchup last game. The Saints pretty much doing what they wanted the entire game. I think the kill total was 35-7 at the end. They won the game, I think, around the 25-26 minute mark. So you fill in the blanks. They had a very, very strong Game 1. But the thing about League, Game 2 can look very, very different.
It's exactly what we've seen from other opponents in the past. I mean, I think back to last Wednesday where Game 1, completely different look from Saints in Game 2 to be able to bring it back, and then a completely different look in Game 3. So, I mean, every game can be individually different, and I think a lot of what we're going to see out of Missouri Baptist is a change-up in some of their strategies. Because
I would hope
so at that, because it really looked as if they weren't really playing their style. They looked a little bit lost. That first pick, Aatrox, really worked, and after that, it started to tumble down as they started to fall a little bit further down their comfort, it felt like. But Tristana going to be banned away once again, the Udyr as well. I don't think there's going to be any change-ups coming through from St. Clair, at least in their bans.
No, I'm going to guess the brand ban probably once again. They are going to take away LeBlanc's Bakery Boy. Bakery Boy's LeBlanc going to be off the board, so they had enough of that. Bakery Boy clearly showed, hey, this is why this is my #1 pick. Absolutely terrorized the Rift with it, and that's going to be taken away. Missouri Baptist adjusting now. Once again, the Hecarim ban, so target banning those junglers away.
Yeah, sort of taking away just the comfort away from You Never Loved Me. And in a lot of ways, the Kane just felt like they didn't really know what they were doing in a lot of senses.
Kane did not feel loved.
They did not feel loved, But what can you do at that point? Regardless, the Kane, I don't think it was the correct answer, especially if you're not comfortable into it, especially if you go blue Kane, because that doesn't really work. You don't get the % health damage that you want to cut through the Sejuani with. Of course, Jack's going to be taken off the table. No surprise there. If you saw Ricky's Yone, you don't want to see his Jax at that.
Let's say we'll have a Jax incident on our hands, but we saw Ricky very strong on the Yone, and that's the beautiful thing about having that deep champion pool and expanding it as the weeks go on. He's like, okay, ban what you want. I'll figure out something else. I'll plug and play a champ. Yeah, I got something for you cooking up. So gonna see the Jax ban go through once again there. And now both teams say, I want to see, we're gonna see probably, I would say maybe kind of a similar draft if you're the Saints. I mean, really don't go away from it if it's not broken. But Missouri Baptist, I'm really curious to see what kind of changes. In MF first pick is a very different change from last game.
It's definitely a different angle because it gives you a lot of ease of execution. In a team fight, you press R, you do a whole bunch of damage to everyone. That's exactly what you need to try and have to on this bot lane, because it felt like the Varus was a little bit too hard to execute, as weird as that sounds. The Varus just wasn't really able to get off the ground, wasn't able to execute as well as that champion can. But of course, there are some traditional counters to that. Caitlyn's definitely one of them. Arcane, just Caitlyn coming through, loving that character from Arcane. Bat chest, let's go. But, just going to be laying down the long gun of the law as well, making sure that this Misfortune really can't get away with anything in this lane. And it really is a lane bully champion that you can go for. Okay.
The Lorax has been chosen.
That's Ivern coming through. Interesting pickup from Alonso there. It is a champion that they have pulled out before, but it's definitely an odd early pick because there's one item that Ivern really hates. If you follow Jamaican Banana on Twitter, you'll find out that he will have at least 2 posts a day saying, Serpent's Fang is the worst thing to ever exist in the game, and, we'll have to find out if that item comes through. But as expected, Curse of the Sad Bullet time will come true. That combo just way too strong. We're still seeing it picked up at Worlds.
Yeah, Mumu is just such a nightmare to deal with as support a lot of the time, especially with the MF. Yeah, you just lock down double Q, wait till level 6, play off both of their Rs, and you can have a very, very, especially fighting around those objectives and fighting around those choke points. And the Saints did a really good job kind of reading the ganks and reading how the map was being played out, and Missouri Baptist looking for some answer to try to find that quick kill, because last game, they never felt like they could find that first pick or that first blood to really try to swing the fight in their favor. The Saints just always had too much health, too much ability to get through those fights there. And we are going to see the Kindred coming through from Missouri Baptist and going to be Morgana coming through. So Kate Morg,
the classic lane, I think. No surprise there. It's a little bit easier to execute than the Kate Lux in a lot of ways. Morgana, eventually you can just sort of build up these tankier stats as opposed to Lux, where you need to have that damage supplementing it. In an interesting way, though, the Kindred here, an interesting pickup because it just sort of stalls out what the engages from St. Clair are going to look at. The Lamb's Respite just so good at buying yourself a lot of time. This is a champion that we've also seen come through a little bit in Worlds, mostly through Pioshik, because, Pioshik is just the Kindred god at that, so not too surprising there. But Fiora going to be taken off the table. It sort of leans towards, hey, we want to pick Aatrox here, because that's sort of the traditional counter to that. Of course, Aatrox can still get banned away. It's almost expected at this point. Yep, there we go. Because if it's not first picked, if it's not picked in the first rotation, you want to have a safe top laner, and Aatrox is just the epitome of that. So those bans makes a whole lot of sense.
So we are, so far, 6 different champions from what we saw from last game. So both teams definitely trying to go a different approach. We're going to see a couple adaptations now, and I'm very curious to see where the cards fall next. Oxon going to get banned away from Missouri Baptist, so wondering if St. Clair maybe had something up their sleeve or maybe a counterplay into something they want to bring out. But as I said, all different champions so far. and we will continue it. Mr. Mordekaiser has now been picked for the Saints.
Yeah, gonna try and send anyone down to Australia, get them out of the way, just get someone out of the fight. And it's a really good pick into the Kindred as well, because, you know, you can take away that agency for her to just ult her team in that sense, really forces her to use it on herself there. The Vex, though, going to be blind picked in the mid lane here. I'm curious to see what Fer1lance has as an answer up on that top lane. You know, we mentioned that they have some of these other bruisers in the inventory. The Darius is a really nice pickup here. I think it gives you a lot of agency. We're likely to see, you know, Ghost Flash or something along those lines, but you know, you want to play as aggressively as possible in a Darius lane, and I'm very excited to see what they can pull out, because we need a different look from that side.
And we are going to see the Nico coming through, so I don't know if we've seen Bakery Boy play the Nico mid lane yet. Maybe he's got it in his back pocket, maybe he knows something that we haven't seen before, but now, as I said before, we had 6 new champs. We're going to see an entirely different roster. Now, that's what we said about between Game 1 and Game 2. We might see an entirely different looking game, and that is exactly what we have on our hands. Every single person picking up something different, playing off the bans from last game, and ultimately, it's going to come down to getting on the Rift here very shortly and seeing who's going to execute better.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how this Nico plays out, because if you look at the St. Clair College side here, lots of magic damage coming through.
Yeah.
It's only Caitlyn as your AD source, so you need to get Rock Boom off the ground. Granted, they did exactly that last
pretty good
game.
at that.
They did a pretty good job of that, but overall, there's a lot of really interesting interactions, you know, with how much team fight presence, you know, an Amumu, a Kindred has, the Vex getting resets. Nico has an interesting situation where they can sort of prevent all of that with the Pot Blossom, so very curious to see if, never mind, it's AD Nico mid.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So that's a little bit different. I was going to say the Nico and the LeBlanc, you know, kind of a similar playstyle, how you can make the clone, kind of dash away. You have the root available to you, but a very different play. We're going to see a 5v5 topside early. See if either team wants to actually engage here. Alonso going to send the fake in there. Both teams going to dive up. The Saints, they're going to go all the way in and try to find a kill. You never let me 1 HP. They are going to find first blood, though. Vex going to be the one to pick that one up. So once again, Missouri Baptist getting first blood. Saints trying to find some trade out if possible, but not going to find it for the time being. Missouri Baptist still walking in. A flash does get burned. Both teams still trying to duke it out here. This is a massively huge fight. Bakery Boy gonna have to back up a little bit. Is gonna find the kill on Tiny Dolphin. So far we're at a 1-for-1 if you're keeping track. And now the Saints gonna keep the pressure on. Maybe try to find the kill into Stoli here. Very low. Gonna flash into the pit. Baker Boy gonna Rock Boom gonna flash. Get 2 flashes burned. 1 more auto to land if he can just make up the distance here. Still gonna give chase into this mid lane. Both members ticked down very low. We see Kindred now lurking off to that left side. Alonso gonna harass him just a little bit. This Kate, Rock Boom still looking for the kill here. Gonna land 1 more auto, but doesn't look like he'll be able to find the kill. Just out of range there. So what a hectic minute and a half.
Yeah, hectic minute and a half. It's going to be a kill going back and forth there, but of course, it's going to be Bakery Boy picking up that first kill there. Curious to see what they go for. You know, on-hit Nico has a lot of different ways that you can play it in that sense, so I'm curious to see what build Bakery Boy goes for, but definitely not what I was expecting. You know, we were expecting the AP Nino to just go through, pop into the middle of the team and say, "Hello, my name's Nino!" Drop a Pot Blossom onto all of them. Had to get that reference in there at some point, but nonetheless, this is going to be sort of that on-hit Nico that got popular top lane, especially, you know, just going for as many auto attacks, go for this sort of split push style, and it's a little bit different than what we're expecting out of Bakery Boy.
Yeah, and at least both mid laners were the ones to pick up the kills there, so going to be a 1-to-1 in that mid lane. Ricky back and forth with the Darius here, both going to be 1 HP. Ricky going to flash, not going to find the kill either, so Ricky going to burn both summoner spells. I believe he burned the ignite as well, but is ultimately going to fall in that solo kill. And man, Darius, he's that champion where you think you have him, and then you end up dead 2 seconds later.
Yeah,
His bot side as well, still going to engage Rock Boom. Oh, going to find the kill. So the Saints, once again, putting that early pressure on the bot lane and finding good results already.
Yeah, definitely just able to pick up this tempo really quickly here. And I mean, in a lot of ways, you know, Missouri Baptist trying to cause as much chaos as possible, because in these more chaotic games, you can eke out advantages in any way that you want. And I mean, looking at top lane already, you know, Ricky 0-2 to start this game off. Fer1lance has had a little bit more room to afford for themselves. But of course, you look at the flip side of that and you see how strong this bot lane is already building up. We said in the break, you know, Tiny Dolphin in this matchup are going to be a little bit difficult if it's just sort of a total stomp in terms of the CS, and you know, not quite coming to fruition right now because Rock Boom has sort of taken a step back, going in for a reset here, going to pick up the call as well, but nonetheless, this lane for Misfortune not going to be the kindest for them.
Yeah, going to be pretty tricky. Darius going to land the hook there, going to be a back and forth trade once again. Ricky still trying to go toe-to-toe here with Fer1lance, going to head back to his tower, going to get tagged up a lot. Fer1lance is going to take a tower shot for his trouble there, so going to be able to get the wave shove. Ricky, very, very low health though, might be looking for a dive possibly at some point, but actually, they're going to ping in the vision in the tri-bush there. Fer1lance maybe trying to find that kill angle, but, you know, you don't want to give a kill away to Ricky too early and get him back in the game.
Yeah, as you can see, though, just constant trading between the two top laners. There's what Darius wants to do, wants to try and prevent Ricky from doing anything, but as you can see, the regen coming through, taking their time, and Fer.Lance has the agency to sort of go in for this, but you never allowed me on this top side. This might be the angle for them.
Yeah, Ricky has no sums up, might be able to find the angle. As you said, Fer.Lance is going to be the one to find the kill there, so Darius going to be up to 2-0-1 already just through 4 minutes. And the Saints, they're going to send their action bot side instead. They're going to dive. Sun's going to come through. Rafa going to find the kill onto Tiny Dolphin. Mumu is going to get away for his trouble there, but the Saints going to get a 1-for-1 top to bot. But I'll tell you what, you don't want Darius getting too out of control. That champion is a nightmare to deal with.
It's a snowball champion at that, really going to try and find as many kills as possible and continue to snowball that lead quickly, pushing forward as much as possible. But, for the time being, this Darius up a decent amount, was able to almost get a plate on that top side. And look at the answer from Ricky. It's a cloth armor. Not going to mean too much specifically in this lane, but, you really have to push the envelope for the side of Missouri Baptist to really try and find as many advantages as possible. St. Clair, they're still playing around their bot side as we expected, but we'll have to see what Bakery Boy is able to put out here, because already you can see 39 CS at 5 minutes here. Been doing a really good job of the farm department, just getting the gold lead where they can, and I'm curious to see how this builds up for this Nico in the mid lane, because it's not a pick that we see very often, not even in the AD variant, more so, let alone the AP variant. So curious to see how that dynamic works out. It's definitely not something we were expecting, but then again, after game one, I think they're able to play with their food a little bit more, so to speak.
Barring anything crazy, I'm assuming Darius is probably going to win out this top lane. The Saints, as you said, they're going to play for that bot side, and that's where the mid lane matchup and the jungle matchup is going to be the really intriguing thing to me. Which one of those players is going to be able to roam, find those well-timed dives, find those ganks, and try to swing that lane one way or the other. And the Saints, as we said, they're going to focus on playing the spot side, and Ricky just going to try to get some CS, get back in this game against Darius. Younghook is going to go in on Rafa, though. Rafa ticked down very low. Spell Shield is going to come through. Rafa taking a lot of damage as well. Oh, he still finds the kill onto Mumu. Flash getting burned as well, but kill is going to go through for the Saints, and Rockboom putting a lot of work in that mid lane as well. So the Saints starting to clean things up in all three of the lanes here.
They're really pushing any advantage possible to sort of get themselves over the edge here, try and get this 2-0 series victory. Of course, this top lane still going to be a little bit of a nightmare situation for Ricky, because now actually, Fer.Lance is only level 4, so it's not as bad as maybe we expected, but with the Sheen in inventory, it's going to be more difficult. Oh my goodness, look at the damage, though, coming through from Ricky. Still very confident in their gameplay to just push their advantages as much as possible. Rockman's in trouble, though.
Yeah, Rockman in a world of hurt right now. The Kindred gank going to come through. Going to try to get this kill onto the MF for the Kindred. Probably Rockboom trying to do some alcove gaming is going to get shut down there. Kindred going to find the kill. You Never Love Me picking up his first of the game. And now Missouri Baptist. That's a good thing. Last game, I felt like the Saints did a lot in the early game, and Missouri Baptist was kind of playing catch-up, and now Missouri Baptist trying to get ahead of the apple cart here.
They're trying to do everything that they can to try and find any ways to shut them down. If that means finding a kill on the Caitlyn bot side, that's exactly what you're going to do. Rafa!
Oh
boy, this
Rafa
is
playing with fire. Yeah, waiting for that dive, but the wave did get pushed back just a little bit. Rafa, 1v1 Ghost is going to get popped. Fer.Lance going to look for the kill. Spell Shield's going to get popped by Rafa. No kill going to come through just yet. Rafa trying to back Darius out of the top side jungle there. Just a little bit of harassment there. The Saints trying to set up some kind of dive, but not able to do so. Rafa still giving chase, so I actually take it back. Fer.Lance, Root's going to come through. They might be able to find that kill. Bot tower getting dove as well. You Never Love Me is going to find the kill. Whoa, Saints are going to find 3 kills on the backside, though, so ultimately going to be a 3-for-1. Rockboom finding a double kill, and as we said, once again, that bot lane, they are trying to get ahead high and early.
Yeah, fights everywhere on the map, just taking just all over the place in that, and I think that it's really giving a lot of agency for Rockboom. Getting dove there, just able to find 2 more kills for themselves despite going down as well. So even more gold going into Rockboom's inventory. And this is not what you want to do. You need to make sure your dives are as clean and as crisp as possible, but unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case, as it just seems as if they're trying too hard to force some of these plays, and it's giving St. Clair enough opportunities to play into their hands.
And that can be the really nice thing about having such a one-sided game in game one. You can kind of make the other team play into your hand, maybe try to do a little bit too much, realizing that, the matchup might not be going the way they want. And now Saints, Younghook walk back to this bot side. The Saints, Kate already going to be up to 4 kills in this game so far, just trying to stack up those items, bully this lane as much as possible, and then get going around the rest of the map. And Ricky doing a pretty good job keeping that Darius, at least in relative check on that top side. Darius, obviously, if he gets going, can be very, very tough to deal with, but the Saints doing a very, very good job. For every time they've gotten dove, they've at least gotten something in return.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that we see sort of a repeat of last game where Ricky under the bot lane tier 1, 1v4s, Rockboom able to come away with 2 kills of their own, sort of out of nowhere. A little bit uncharacteristic to see these dives go as as extreme as they turn out. Of course, this Kindred, though, 2-0-2. If we can get a check on how many marks she's got as well, we'll be able to figure out exactly where on her scaling curve she is. 2 stacks right now, so still trying to build that up. Once you get to 4 stacks on that Kindred, you get that range advantage. You become an actual range champion as opposed to 500 range. It gives you a little bit more agency to push your advantages forward, but you still got to be very cautious of the fact that there's a AD Nico mid lane that can sort of come into your jungle and try and pull you out as well.
Yeah, and if you try to mess around with that level 6 Mordekaiser, he's going to suck you right out of there and make you play on his terms there. Bakery Boy, a lot of harassment in the mid lane. Gonna pop the Ignite, maybe try to find the kill there. Bot lane, a lot of action as well. Root gonna come through. Kindred is gonna have to pop the R there. Rockboom, bullet time is gonna come through. Stun's gonna go on Rafa. Gonna pop the stopwatch. Rockboom gonna find the kill on You Never Love Me, and Amumu will fall next. Rockboom once again picking up 2 more kills in this bot lane is going to start to snowball if the Saints have anything to say about it. However, though, they're going to go for one more dive, it looks like. They are going to dive. Oh, Kadar is going to come through. Shot fired. Bakery Boy ends up finding the kill onto Dolphin, and the Saints going to go, I believe, 3-for-0 in that exchange.
Yeah, there's 3 Iverns on our screen at a time. My goodness, the things that Nico can do. Nonetheless, it was all smoke and mirrors at the end of it, able to find themselves another kill on to Bakery Boy here. Going for the Blade of the Ruin King as that answer as it seems right now. So very curious to see how that will evolve as time goes on. But of course, Rockboom, really the benefactor of all of this attention bot lane. The more action that comes through, the better it will be. 6, 2, and 3, really starting to build a little bit of a nest egg up for themselves to feel really happy with where this game is going. And of course, we're going to opting in for the Zhonya's right now, 2-0-4 right now. Curious to see what the other items are that are going to come through for the Morgana are, because Zhonya's is definitely a strong item to be able to go in for those aggressive plays, especially into the likes of a Misfortune and Mumu. But of course, if we're looking at mythic items, will it be something a little bit more defensive? Will it be something a little bit more aggressive? Very curious to find that out as well as time goes on.
And I'm curious what the answer to St. Clair's bot lane is going to be, because Missouri Baptist these last 2 games has not even found a shred of an answer to try to shut down this bot lane, whether it was the Draven Thresh now going into the Kate Morg. They have to find some way to try to stifle that. As we said, top lane, it's been a pretty back and forth matchup. Ricky, very, very, very slight CS lead, just that one there, so not too much happened. They are going to go for the dive, though. Never Love Me. Walk up, trying to find the dive. Ricky can hit the R. Going to try to Q. Oh, Kindred going to be in a world of trouble. Ignite going to come through for Ricky. One more auto. Going to fall. Going to flash the safety away, so Ricky going to end up getting a 1-for-0 for his trouble. And Missouri Baptist, once again, failed opportunity to capitalize.
Finally getting on the board, it feels like, for Ricky. They've had so many different opportunities to get any sort of kill participation, but of course, in the 1v2, as you said it, just being able to send someone down to South Africa, say, hey, I'm going to take you on my terms, be able to find that for themselves, really, really working for themselves at that. But of course, looking at the gold lead across the map, 3,000 gold lead for St. Clair. A lot of that coming through the mid lane, a lot of that coming through the bot lane as well right now. Oh my, look at this. Oh my god.
Wow, bullet time is going to come through. Rafa getting ticked down very low. He is going to fall to the Misfortune. Rafa getting a lot of damage. R is going to be blocked though, so not going to find a kill on the backside there. And as we said earlier, the objectives, the Saints picked up that first dragon. Maybe a premature stopwatch, and still almost gets killed after the fact. So Young Hook Dog, very low. Ropham is going to have to heal up there. They're going to turn now, and Dolphin is going to fall. And once again, this bot lane absolutely running roughshod over Missouri Baptist.
Not sure if they wanted to put that stopwatch down right there.
Totally intentional.
Real. Definitely intentional at that, but nonetheless, Young Hook Dog ends up baiting their ADC. Tiny Dolphin goes a little bit too deep, and Alonzo is just able to reply in kind, but overall, it's still it's good for the side of Missouri to put up a little bit more resistance, it feels like. But You Never Love Me, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, not a lot of resistance going on here. Gonna have to pop the R. Daisy in the back line there, hunking things down. Rockboom gonna get queued on. No worries, double kill on the for Alonzo there. Rockboom gonna shove this wave, and the Saints still absolutely dominating. And I believe the Rift Herald was dropped as well, and I'm not sure exactly how much value it's gonna get. It looks like it's gonna be a big fat 0 for the side of Missouri. So 1 objective down the drain and 2 kills over to Saints jungler.
Ivan says I've had enough. They reach their snapping point there, and they're just like, I'm gonna go for the kills myself. Finds 3 of them on that engaged bot side there. Of course, Rockboom's probably like, yo man, what are you doing? You're supposed to be my support. Come on, help me out, man. Throw me a bone. But nonetheless, this Caitlyn has been so big at this point to really push forward their advantage. I was like, once again, 3,000 gold lead.
Well, I mean, that's a thing that just happened.
Yeah. Okay, now Rockboom's in trouble, though.
Yeah, Rockboom gonna have to try to get away here. Is gonna be able to dash away to safety. So don't want to give any of those gold. Don't want to give those shutdowns now when you get on that long kill streak. Rafa probably wants to have that one back, but the Saints once again doubling up the kills in Missouri, sitting at about a 5k gold advantage right now, so they're still feeling very, very good once again. And as we said, Ricky, the only one that really started behind in his lane, has done a great job. And yeah, we're going to see Nico is going to go Blade of the Rune King in that mid lane. So definitely something different that we'd like to see. And I mean, the mid lane matchup so far has been pretty even as far as things go, though.
Vex looking for Rafa.
Yeah, Vex going to find the R, going to get the engaged Rafa. Evercross and absolutely deleted from the game. Rafa going to fall twice in the last 30 seconds there in Missouri. Maybe they can do something with this pick, try to work something off of it. Bakery Boy is going to harass Stoli, though. Ignite comes through. Going to jump in, though. Is going to flash away to safety. Bakery Boy not going to find the kill, but Ricky putting a lot of work on this top side is once again going to hit the R in the Kindred. Darius going to go fight Bakery Boy. Alonzo there for the help as well. And Fertilance bit off more than he could chew. Bakery Boy going to find the kill. And now You Never Love Me in a very, very bad spot. Ricky breathing down his neck. Gonna maybe jump over this wall. Daisy not noticing Bakery Never Love Me is actually gonna get away for the time being, but Bakery Boy, of course, the man of the hour, there to find the easy kill in the Saints, just finding it left and right now.
Yeah, Nino's definitely not watching TV in this one. Definitely getting in on the action, serving up appetizers, picking up their own dinner for themselves as well. What a nightmare this Nico is going to be for the side of Missouri Baptist to be able to pick up any sort of control, because you thought you got him cornered out, but nonetheless, this Nico still does so much damage. Granted, this is a good advantage for them right now. Oh my.
Yeah, gonna be the stun up. Bakery Boy in a lot of trouble here. Gonna have a couple members of the Saints trying to collapse on here. Bakery Boy trying to take down. He will still somehow find the kill. Gonna be tagged down to 1 HP though. Rafa gonna be a little bit aggressive here. Not gonna be able to find the kill. Is gonna have to flee away there. So the Saints once again somehow find a 1-for-0 out of seemingly not that amazing of an opportunity, but they just seem to make the most of it. Oh, Rockboom is going to go for us in, try to find some damage. Going to miss that last ability there. Not going to be able to rack up the kill with the Saints. If I know them, they're going to try to crash this wave and set up some kind of wonky dive in the bot side here.
Looking for anything possible at this point. By the looks of it, they're sort of trying to shut down Rockboom in any way, shape, or form, but 2.5 items on this Caitlyn going to be difficult. Oh my goodness, how early that lens respite was popped.
Yeah, they're going to try to chase down this Caitlyn as well. Rockboom, spell shield goes up, Rockboom going to find the kill. Finally going to get traded out by Dolphin there. MF going to get some gold in her back pocket finally. Try to, somehow get back in this game and stunt this Caitlyn, but St. Clair, once again, doing a very good job controlling the pace of the game so far. Mountain Dragon is up as well, so something to keep an eye out for either team. I'm assuming that'll be end up, probably going into the Saints' hand, considering where a lot of these waves are in the bot side, but both teams, trying to find that edge. Missouri, though, got some ground to make up.
Yeah, and I think especially for MBU, they need to try and find some towers. These objective bounties can be a way for them to sort of turn the tides of this game, but even then, topside Fertilance is just sort of getting quashed at this point. They're not really able to find any advantages, because look at Ricky. Ricky's just done so well, soaking up so much pressure on the weak side, and really just preventing Fertilance from being able to snowball too hard. I mean, the Mythic was completed first from the Mordekaiser. We're going to see it completed now from Fertilance, but nonetheless, it's just been a dominating performance thus far from all of the Saints across the board, just being able to soak up so much pressure on one side of the map to provide a huge advantage for Rockboom on this bottom side. Alongside, Bakery Boy here, 5-0-0 on this Nico. They definitely know what they're doing, In another life, they're the ADC main that you got to worry about, just all this kiting and everything. Oops.
Rockboom, one more auto, is going to get the flash there, so going to get one flash just for a couple autos there. Dolphin going to have to get away to safety. Saints are going to pick up their second dragon of the game there. Ooh, he was going to go through Rafa, going to land it. Going to hold back Young Hook Dog for the time being. Rockboom should be able to knock it over the mid tower. Flash Q is going to go through. Rafa's there to help, though. Solio on the backside is going to try to find the kill. Rockboom is going to be the first one. Flash away from the R. Beautiful play by Rockboom. Alonzo's going to find that second kill in the Saints. They're going to go walking into this jungle and look for that third pick, but Vex, it'd be a tricky one to catch there, is going to get away, but nonetheless, finding 2 kills and the tower when it was not looking too spicy for them.
Yeah, the BM book is in the inventory as well of, you guessed it right, Alonzo? 14 stacks on the Metas, oh my.
Oh, once again, huge stun. Alonzo finding yet another kill. King of the jungle right now. He has walked all over Missouri Baptist and Rockboom. Still shoving in this midway. Bakery Boy putting in work on this bot side wave. And we're getting to that point we saw last game where Missouri, they don't really have a super fantastic angle to start these fights, and the Saints are really starting to build on this lead.
Yeah, they say nice guys finish last or whatever. And Alonzo's saying, you know what, I'm playing Ivern. I can be nice to the jungle monsters and finish first. First in sense of the stacks right now. 18 stacks on the book right now. They're really feeling themselves in this one. And thus far, how can you not? You've got this dominating lead once again. You've got your ADC super fed. And now Alonzo gets to do a really cool thing when they build a bunch of support items and just continue to buff up the likes of this Caitlyn, really trying to get any sort of advantage in place for them. And I think overall, it's really difficult for Missouri to get back, or Missouri Baptist to be able to get back into this. Granted, it has been a little bit more competitive thus far. They haven't completely shut down across the map, but even then, when you're down around 8,000 gold. You need to find anything that you can. The objective bounty on the Rev Trail is something. You know, it's 600 team gold, but you might die for it.
I thought the Saints were going to go try to steal that one. They are going to engage the bullet time, and the curse is going to come through. Stopwatch is going to get burned. The Saints still hanging in this fight. Rafa going to flash to safety there. Vexar is going to land. Engage goes through. Alonso going to get ticked up. Everfrost comes through as well. Dolphin is going to find the first kill here. Saints trying to turn this fight now. Flash into the pit to get away to safety. Rockboom trying to line up one more auto. He will find it. Stoli will fall, and the Saints going to go 1 for 1. Will lose second Herald, but not going to let Missouri Baptist get away empty-handed there.
And as you can see, it's just complete control. You know, the amount of shielding that's coming through, the defensive capabilities. These flashes have been really good from the side of St. Clair to prevent themselves from, you know, dropping too many members. It's always been 1, 2 members who are falling down at a time. It's not, you know, huge advantages being pulled by the side of Missouri Baptist. And a lot of the times it's just Rafa dying, which, you know, as a support man, I hate to say this, but sometimes support lives don't really matter that much. You know, 2, 4, and 10, you know,
he said it on me. Adam said it. You never loved me. Oh, gonna dive away to safety just for the time being, but 1 or 2 more shots there. He should end up falling. Bakery Boy gonna find the kill here. Rockboom gonna find one. Ricky gonna get the tower. Oh, Bakery Boy gonna find that kill as well, and still putting in work on this top side. Gonna find the double kill. Will take out this T1 top tower, and the Saints are really starting to put the squeeze on Missouri here as far as towers and picks go.
I mean, Bakery Boy's just having a great time up there. You know, 2
He's
tanks,
vibing.
Perfect. You know, it's Blade of the Ruined King. You love to face up against these tanks as well. So, you know, just able to cut them down with ease. And I mean, they're just grasping at straws here for the side of Missouri Baptist. They're going to need some sort of miracle to come through at this point, because it's just been every single time they're trying for something slightly aggressive, they get stumped and they get counter-engaged on every single time. It's so difficult for them to find any sort of grasp on this game. I fear that if they aren't able to find some sort of miraculous play, as we've been talking about, the game may just follow to read, because 10,000 gold lead for the side of St. Clair, that's one of those landmarks in League where it's like, you know, 10,000 gold is a definitionally big, almost unthrowable lead.
Oh, Bakery Boy absolutely destroying You Never Loved Me. He never had a chance. Bakery Boy completely dominating that solo fight. And St. Clair, just as you said, putting the screws to Missouri Baptist. And the only saving grace for them is that there is a lot of gold in the as far as bounties for the Saints and shutdowns. If they can maybe get that gold at the right spot, they can make a play. Yep. Bakery Boy gonna get Everfrost, can pop the spell shield. Rafa is gonna end up finding the kill. Blast Cone to safety is gonna get hooked on by the Q and is going to fall eventually. Stoli trying to give chase still. Gonna have to back off though. Don't want to risk going in and giving St. Clair another kill to even things up.
Hey, granted, the shutdown just went on the Amumu, which is probably the worst person to have the shutdown on, unfortunately. So Young Hook Dog going to be in trouble. Ooh, ace in the hold block.
Oh, yeah, Ricky taking Stoli into the Millennium Puzzle, shutting him down right there, and Ricky still walking down this mid lane. Going to have that Vex buff for the time being, the Saints. They're going to slowly try to walk in this tower, maybe try to walk in an inhibitor as well, and they are feeling damn good. Ricky, massive EQ, going to tick down You Never Loved Me. Rockboom finding yet another kill. This is a fed Caitlyn, the Saints. They're going to walk in, break the tower. Rockboom trying to find yet another kill. Going to turn on Dolphin as well. Oh, 1 or 2 more autos. Oh, ability, I believe that landed as well, so going to be 1 HP on the Misfortune, and the Saints are absolutely dominating.
Yeah, you can just see they don't want to play with their food. They just want to try and end the series as quickly as possible. They got a hot date or something afterwards. They want to get out of here as quickly as possible, and thus far, MBU just have no answers bullet time.
Yeah, not going to, maybe, it's got a little bit of value. They're going to get a lot of damage, but not going to find any picks. Saints are going to turn this fight. Who else but Ricky going to find the solo kill there? And now the Saints trying to walk it into this Nexus. Daisy going to help find a kill there as well. The Saints are all over. A lot of low HP, though. Maybe they can make a play. Young Hook Dog's going to go in, pop the R. Actually, a couple kills going to go through from Missouri Baptist, so the Saints, you know, getting caught with their hand in the cookie jar just a little bit there. Missouri Baptist finally going to punish.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the cupcake jar because Alonso was still left untouched, but nonetheless, you know, great play from Young Hook Dog to move forward aggressively. But once again, the sad thing is just that some of these shutdowns are going into the Amumu's pocket, who doesn't really make use of that gold to the same extent. Of course, Mumu rights matter too. We said support lives don't matter as much, you know, you gotta love them a little bit too, but nonetheless, the Misfortune at this point, you know, 5, 6, and 5 has 2 items in the inventory. They're starting to become a little bit of a threat, especially with that ultimate. Doesn't matter how fed you are, if you don't have the defensive capabilities to survive a full bullet time, it's gonna be difficult for you to sort of end this game. So I'm very curious to see how St. Clair want to sort of end this game out. I mean, the side lane threat is immeasurable coming through from Ricky and Bakery Boy at this point, but it's not as dominating of a lead as we saw last game, and that leaves the door just a tear open
Yeah.
for the side of Missouri Baptist to potentially turn this game around and find themselves any sort of advantage.
The only issue for Missouri Baptist, they're going to potentially have to give Soul or Baron. Rafa going to get hooked up on. XR goes through as well, so heavy investment from Missouri Baptist, but they are going to find the pick, and as I said, they're going to maybe have to play 50-50. Do they want to try to stop St. Clair on the Soul? Do they want to try to flip for the Baron in some way or capacity? I feel like that's one of their 2 win conditions. Try to get back in this game. We see Ricky, as you said, just split pushing that bot lane, running Fer-de-Lance out of town there, and the Saints are going to stack up on that Baron, so they realize, play for the objectives right now, try to slowly walk these turrets into the Nexus here. Ghost is going to get popped by Fer-de-Lance. Ricky going to be engaged here. Lands the Q. Going to walk away for the time being, knowing multiple members are probably starting to hunker down on him. Saints are going to get Baron for their trouble, though, and Ricky still engaging here at this bot side. Oh, massive combo. Mid-dunk. Darius gets shut down, and Ricky still in the 1v2 here against Vex and Kindred. Try to turn the fight here. Gonna chase You Never Love Me down. Gonna land the EQ. Landing a couple autos there. You Never Love Me. He's gonna pop his stopwatch. Ricky trying to hang in this fight. Still 3 members draped over him. Still kicking though. Waiting for backup to come. Bakery Boy's here. Finds the first pick. Amumu is going to find the trade onto Ricky though. So Bakery Boy now going to give chase. Amumu gonna go back in onto Bakery Boy. Is gonna pop the R as well, but ultimately not gonna get any value out of that. Is gonna fall. And now the Saints are gonna get that flashed out of the bot side as well. And as we said, a couple picks now. They're going to look to start to end the game, especially having this Baron buff up.
Wearing purple, looking to try and find any sort of advantage just to end this game as well. Rock Boom, that's a lot of damage coming through. Fer-de-Lance at least going to be able to block it up, but nonetheless, you can see going for the completionist in this one, picking up a couple of inhibitors for themselves as they try and push themselves over the edge here. It's just too much damage coming through from the Saints. Bakery Boy's a menace on these towers.
Oh, I think Alonso, I don't want to jinx it yet because there's a little bit of game left, but I think he's going to go. Oh, I was. Forget it. I shouldn't even open my mouth. I was going to say going deathless the 2 games of the series with the Saints. Nonetheless, they're going to roll this fight. Bakery Boy still finding kills left and right. One is finally going to get shut down, being Rafa, but Rock Boom going to pick up for his bot lane duo there. Is going to find the revenge kill on the Mumu, and the Saints are going to walk this one into the Nexus and dominate Missouri Baptist in a 2-0 to move to 5-0 in NACE STARLEAGUE.
Matchup should have been closer in a lot of ways.
On paper it was.
On paper it was, 2 undefeated teams coming into it, but unfortunately, when the dice sort of fall, it's a whole bunch of nat 20s coming through for the side of the Saints, and unfortunately MBU came out a little bit flat today in that regard, and I think just really missing some key fights, I think, was the main thing. A lot of their dives went south. A lot of their resource allocation didn't quite go in their favor. And even after some chaotic level 1s going in favor of Missouri Baptist, Saints say, you know what, level 1 doesn't matter. We can just fight for the rest of the game. And that's exactly what they did with 2 extremely strong performances from them.
And obviously the entire team played amazing, but obviously they played for that bot side. And Bakery Boy on the Nico. This guy's got maybe a deeper champ pool than we originally thought, playing the LeBlanc and the Nico pretty much flawlessly. I think he had maybe 2 or 3 deaths the entire series. The Saints, very, very minimal on mistakes. They did a lot of good cleanup. They traded out everything, whether it was taking an objective, taking a tower, or finding those picks back in the next fight. They just did everything so well. All the members deserve a massive amount of credit today.
Oh, I think 100%. I think realistically, the side of Saints, after a little bit of a tough week last week, they're really trying to get themselves back in gear here. I mean, this is definitely one way to do it. We're going to have to see how their performance pans out tomorrow, because that's against a more competitive team in Purdue in a lot of senses. So very curious to see how that plays out as well. Of course, speaking of that matchup for tomorrow, we can pull up the schedule here. Looking forward, of course, after our matchup here against Missouri Baptist University, it is Purdue Varsity tomorrow for League of Legends. And of course, rest of the week comes through Thursday. Got COD, Vanguard, and NACE StarLeague Conference Championships. The game is starting to come to a close, so sort of the last hurrah for Vanguard.
Modern Warfare 2 this week.
It's coming out this week, exactly. So going to be switching gears soon in terms of COD. Of course, Friday, Valorant against the U Ottawa, and then Saturday, Rocket League, NACE StarLeague Conference Championships once again as they try and close out that season with a bang. But overall, really strong performance from the Saints. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, I think only final words I have is just great job, easy 2-0. Saints move to 5-0 now. Missouri Baptist going to fall to 4-1 in NACE StarLeague, and say great game by both teams. Not as close as maybe we had hoped, but nonetheless very entertaining series regardless. So we thank everybody for tuning in with us tonight, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow for a run back of some League of Legends. Get back in this game against Darius. Younghook is going to go in on Rafa, though. Rafa ticked down very low. Spell Shield is going to come through. Rafa taking a lot of damage as well. Oh, he still finds the kill onto Amumu. Flash getting burned as well, but
boy, does
Rafa playing with fire. Yeah, waiting for that dive, but the wave did get pushed back just a little bit. Rafa, 1v1 Ghost is going to get popped. Borderlands going to look for the kill. Spell Shield's going to get popped by Rafa. No kill going to come through just yet. Rafa trying to back Darius out of the top side jungle there. Just a little bit of harassment there. The Saints trying to set up some kind of dive, but not able to do so. Rafa still giving chase, so I have to take it back. Borderlands, Root's going to come through. They might be able to find that kill. Bot Tower getting dove as well. You Never Love Me is going to find the kill. Whoa, Saints are going to find 3 kills on the backside though, so mid lane going to pop the Ignite, maybe try to find the kill there. Bot lane, a lot of action as well. Root going to come through. Kindred is going to have to pop the R there. Rock Boom, bullet time is going to come through. Stun's going to go on Rafa. Going to pop the stopwatch. Rock Boom going to find the kill on You Never Love Me. And Amumu will fall next. Rock Boom once again. Not too much happening. They are going to go for the dive though. Never Love Me. Walk up, try to find the dive. Ricky can hit the R. Going to try to Q. Oh, Kindred going to be in a world of trouble. Ignite going to come through for Ricky. One more auto. Going to fall. Going to flash the safety away.
Mid lane, a lot of that coming through the bot lane as well right now. Oh my, look at this. Oh my god.
Wow, bullet time is going to come through. Rafa getting ticked down very low. He is going to fall to the misfortune. Rafa getting a lot of damage. R is going to be blocked though, so not going to find a kill on the backside there. And as we said earlier, the objectives, the Saints picked up that first dragon. Maybe a premature stopwatch and still almost gets killed after the fact. So Young Hook Dog, very low. Rafa is going to have to heal up there. They're going to turn now, and Dolphin is going to...
Bonzo just able to reply in kind, but overall, it's still it's good for the side of Missouri to put up a little bit more resistance. It feels like You Never Love Me. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, not a lot of resistance going on here. Gonna have to pop the R. Daisy in the back line there, hunking things down. Rock Boom gonna get queued on. No worries. Double kill on the... I mean, the mid lane matchup so far has been pretty even as far as things go though.
Excellent for Rafa.
Yeah, Vex gonna find the R, gonna get the engaged Rafa. And Ricky putting a lot of work on this top side is once again gonna hit the R in the Kindred. Darius gonna go fight Bakery Boy. Alonzo there for the help as well. And Fertilance bit off more than he could shoot.
Shut down Rock Boom and